All right, start off with a video real quick. I'm going to start a little early because we got a lot to discuss. So let me fix my sound so you can hear it.
Leaning in the direction of what is stronger than leaning in the direction of what is preferred. So there's obviously in this conversation going to be a sort of tug of war going on between what's been happening and what you prefer to happen. Yes? So we are going to utilize all of the resources of non-physical, in other words, the energy that creates worlds, to focus upon the resolution, upon the solution. And we're going to ask you to do your best to be a cooperative component. In other words, don't argue too much against what we know you want. Argue with us for what you want. Yes? All right.
Alrighty, so there was a paranormal experience that I had went through, and it was how I will say this, it was some kind of like time travel. And what had happened is that I feel like I am being hit really bad with some kind of karma. Basically, like the story.
We will hear you fully, but we want to say to you that we sort of began there today, but you couldn't quite hear it, but we want you to hear it now. When who you are is pure positive energy, and what you ask for causes you to continue to evolve, then thoughts in opposition to that feel really, really strong. It feels like a force. It isn't a force. There's no source of darkness. There's just absence of the light. There's no source of evil. But there are rivers and streams of thoughts that if you get far enough from satisfaction into dissatisfaction, it actually feels that there is a force that is pulling you, and it's just the counterbalance to who you really are. In other words, hear this simple statement. If someone that you didn't know called you on the telephone and said, "You don't know me, I'm just letting you know that I'm not ever going to call you again," you would not feel that concern. You'd say, "Well, thanks a lot for letting me know." But when something really, 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 really matters to you, and you get crossways of that, that's a strong tugging, and it causes you to assign all kinds of importance to it, like karma. We promise you that there isn't any of that that is pulling against you. Anything that is pulling against you here and now in this lifetime is only your own thoughts pulling against your own thoughts.
All right, that's why I want to stop that from here. I will share this link with you right now, and hopefully you are able to watch it on your own time. A couple of weeks ago, I told you I don't think there's anybody on the planet greater teacher than Bob Proctor. Was with his ancestors. Now, also told you I don't think anybody on the planet explains receiving mode better than Abraham. I just don't. I just certainly feel that way. And I even remember telling you that I even wrote in the book, which will be coming out again soon, that, and I called them the Abraham Hicks chapters in the book, 11, 12, and 13. It was the law of attraction, law of allowing, and I can't remember right now because my brain is just fried. And these are, law of attraction, deliberate creation, law of allowing, deliberate creation. Nobody explains these things better than Abraham Hicks. And I'm bringing those back up. Thank you, Dr. Sugar. I'm bringing those back up because I want to talk to you today about no reason to find fault. Like, that's what I'm talking to you today. And I was telling Tempest earlier, so I was writing this Monday, and then Tempest called me after the morning meeting, and then Deanna had something for me. And then it was like 20 minutes left, and I told him, I'm trying to figure out how to end this. I have no idea how to end it because I stopped writing it Monday. It's typical for speakers to start something and then we don't know how we end. That's how you get rambling speakers. They never know how to sit down because they haven't put in their writing how to close. So I have no idea how this is going to end. I didn't have time to write an ending. So we're going to be surprised together. But I do know, I do know every other step that includes there. And I have to tell you a story now because during winter solstice, I went off for 4 days and I did a ritual and all sorts of stuff, all sorts of stuff. And this winter solstice, all winter solstices are special. They all are the return of the light. But this one was a bit more special for many reasons, but just astronomically or astrologically special for just the alignment of how things are working in the cosmos. It was one of those Halley Comet type events that this was going to be the only one like this. What was it? 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, or something like that, right? You know, it's just so astrologically just divine that it's going to take another 1,000 years for those numbers to match up again. And I recorded it. I've never recorded it, but I did this time because I knew I had to. I didn't know why, but I knew I had to. And so I recorded. It's on YouTube. It's called Antonio's Moonlight something. I don't remember, right? I disguised it as moonlight meditation or something just for people to click on it. You know, it's on there. Find a link down and put it in the chat for me. It's on there. It's on YouTube. I promise you it is. Antonio's full moon meditation. That's what it is. Antonio's full moon meditation. But that's not what it was, Arshia. It wasn't that. It was my winter solstice activation and expectation of fully activating myself in full God form in the present on earth. And Phil, I thought that was just going to be it. And then walk away and come back and eat corn dogs and it's good. Nope, that's not what happened. What happened was January and every day after that, I have been tested more than I've ever been tested before. And Tempest, when you get a chance, come to your microphone. She had to tell me something, just no different than she's my oracle. So she tells me these things from source that I need to hear at the right time. And she told me something. And I'm sitting there and I'm realizing, okay, in January, I'm supposed to learn these things. Then when February came around, I was like, all right, well, what you got in February then? Long story short, I haven't panicked in either of these life-altering situations. Neither have I second-guessed. Each time I took a series of steps that I made up by getting revealed from source, and I applied them. And I remember that because I taught them to you like a month ago. And they're going to come back up in this call. Tempest, and whatever you want to discuss, do you remember what you told me about January when you saw me getting punched in the throat by the universe and Source had a word for you? It's important because it's building to what I want to do in this call.
That you're hearing prayers? That part?
Yes, that part.
So I told Antonio, you called forth your, can I say God conscious? And as a result of that, you're hearing things now as if you were God. So you're hearing prayers from your people and it's new. So it's overbearing to you for right now. but you ask for you ask for this, and this comes with that territory.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Floored me. Of course, it's not what I wanted to hear, Freedom. I wanted to hear everything's okay. And tomorrow, push 662 on the keypad and boom, it's going to be right there. Right? I always want the easy way out. I received her like I received everything else without panic, following my little system that got from source, which is coming back up. And I remember saying to myself two things. I remember saying to Tempest two things. Wow, we're really mean to God then. Like, if that's what I'm hearing, right? If all of this, what I'm going through is that how we do God? And the truth is, it is. It is. Well, it's fair. We talk to God when we need something. It's typically not kind when we do. It's not mean. It's in some sort of whatever, desperation, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. Just whatever the moment calls for. And then I remember saying this second thing. I remember saying, well, God gonna have to show me how to tangibly answer his children. All of them. That's what I said. This was two things I said to Tim. It's like all of them. All of them. I remember saying that. And I thought about that. And then she said, what else you think? I said, I don't know. I have no idea. Susan, I didn't know what to tell her. I didn't figure out until like 8 days later because I didn't know how to process what she said. It was too far in all the stuff. I didn't understand. And then it finally dawned on me. And this is what I told them later in the private conversation I told you on the morning call. Oh, so God acts like God in every situation. Whether you're nice to God, mean to God, asking God, not asking, doesn't matter. If you're in cancer, out of cancer, in sickness, out of sickness, God is always God. So then I told them, I'm not allowed to have situations anymore. This is what I received 8 days later, of course, because I couldn't process all that when she was talking to me. That my role is to not have situations anymore, not have situations in which I need to be heard, I need to respond, or I need to prove myself, or I need to compliment myself, or I need to stand in the mirror and do shadow work. No more situations, because the only situation I'm allowed to have and be due to what I asked for is God. It means in all things, I must behave with this. Lots of pressure, of course it is, lots of pressure. Which leads me to today. Monday, I have no idea why I said no reason to find fault. And it has nothing to do with people or whatever. This is a conversation about how let me put it on me, because that's what I did. How me was processing that conversation with Tempest. And I realized, why did I have to get it 8 days later? And think about that for a second. I mean, what is it? Is the universe 8 days big? Is that how fast the speed of light comes from God's hands to your tangible reality? Think about these things. And it dawned on me. It took me 8 days, Phil, to let go of my past to hear what she told me in the present. And that's what this call is about. That's what this call is about. So when I tell you no reason to find fault, I don't mean in something that you're going through. I don't mean in something that is said, was said, or whatever. I don't mean to turn my platform into a bully pit. I'm saying there's no reason, Arshia, for you to ever look back in the past and have a problem with that. There is no reason. And I couldn't hear Tempest Tell me what thus saith the Lord, because I'm trying to sit it juxtapose with side by side is what that means. I'm trying to sit it side by side with what I think about the situation. It took me 8 days to get rid of my kingdom about these thoughts so I can hear God's kingdom about these thoughts. It's not that it took 8 days for me to get to some common sense or for the universe to reveal to me its secrets. No, it took 8 days for me to forgive completely when I thought about the situation. See, when I thought about
It took me 8 days to have the courage to tell you that conversation.
Look at that.
Because I kept rejecting the conversation, and Source was like, no, it has to come from you. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to say that. That's crazy. And it took me 8 days to call you with that conversation.
Because you
before I knew you had that question.
Right. You had your past opinions about the situation. Her past said, you know what, if you do this, Tippis, you know what's going to happen. There's no reason to find fault. I remember, here are my lessons. I remember teaching you on receiving mode. I gave you 8 lessons in 6 steps. I'm going to run through them real quick. And I even told you and gave credit to Abraham. Like, there's nobody that talks about receive. If you even say receiving mode, you're clearly under the influence of Abraham Hicks. There's no other way. You can't receive mode. That's something that Abraham does greatly. But I gave you my take on it because I was supposed to. I want to give it to you right now. And give you these 8 steps. And in fact, I don't even want you to hurt yourself taking notes. I'll copy and paste them for you. And you can just copy and paste the notes so you can stay attuned with me. All right. I promise you, I got them for you. I would do that. So I do them 4 at a time because the chat is only going to let me do them 4 at a time. They're there. Typically, I wouldn't post them first. I want you to hear me, but you can read along as I talk. It's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. The number one thing I said is, it might be typos in this. It's all good because that's what I do. This is my scripts. You ain't supposed to see them. Here we all, oh, see, number 1 isn't even a thing. That should say here are all my lessons of master receiving mode. So 1 is not even a thing. So it's 7 lessons. See, this is my script. You ain't supposed to see my script, right? This is 7 lessons, not 8. Number 1 is, or number 2, but it's number 1. When who you are is pure positive energy, as if you're asking for something that forces you to evolve. It gets all feeling and strong and stuff. Basically, it means once you are in pureness, in awesomeness, and know what you want, things hurt more. It's, you convert over and all of a sudden you cry about everything. The Holy Spirit makes you feel everything. That's why I sent you that video. Abraham will say some of these things, maybe, I don't know. But some of these things, I just found a video, but receiving mode is receiving mode, period, point blank. Second thing I told you is, there is no darkness. There is no bad energy. You're experiencing the gap between what you are and what you want. That's tough. And right now, everybody hear me go, it is true, but that doesn't mean you receive it. And it doesn't mean it makes it easier to know it. What you're going through today, remember, I did this, I don't know, I had to ask Grace when I did this, but it's on YouTube. Deanna, look up the date on YouTube. Look up the date on YouTube, Mastering Receiving Mode, I think. It's on there. Just go backwards a little bit. You can little law of attraction coaching. It's in there. I did this like a month and a half ago or something like that. Arshia, what you're going through is not pain. It's the gap between who you really are today and what you really want. And you're supposed to close that gap with being open and receptive to source and your vibrations coming to you. But who you really are is being exposed by what you really want. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough to know And Tempest says, I want this. Okay, and that what you want is pure and beautiful and perfect. But then what's happening to you is you're being exposed. You understand? Because there's a gap between what's perfect in your desires and who you are in this present. And until you match that vibrational equivalent, it can't come. No different than I can't give Tempest a salary until I match the vibrational equivalent to somebody who believes that they can. Nobody's exempt from this. You understand what I'm saying? Thinks about, oh, Phil, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Neil Donald Walsh says what you're saying in this way. There is no such thing as right or wrong. There is only what works and what does not work, given what is you're trying to do.
Absolutely. And Neil Donald Walsh is my favorite. He's my favorite. He's my favorite. If there's anybody that I would just listen to on YouTube all day, it would be Neil Donald.
I thought I was your favorite.
Well, yes. Yeah, there's something about Neil and Phil. Neil and Phil. There you go. For sure. But I want you to remember that, Sugar. Like, please, everybody hear me. This is predicated. The rest of what I want to do is predicated on you understanding there's a gap between you and your present and what you want in your perfect, desirable future. And every time you feel pain or react in whatever way that you consider to be bad, something that doesn't serve you, you're being exposed. Not God, not the man, not the system, not it's taking too long, Antonio. Right? Of course, I said this. What date was that? No, I need to look at the dates because whatever date it was uploaded, that's what I wanted. Because I want you to know this is information that was already out there. This information we already had. January 20th. So on January 20th, I said this already. I said this, and the notes should be posted up in there. On January 20th, I said this. I haven't even talked about today's present. We're just talking, we're fulfilling the gap so we can talk about today's present. The third thing I said was karma is never pulling against you. Ever. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. Nothing's pulling against you. Your thoughts are, but karma is the kindest possible thing on the planet to help you ascend. Sometimes kind things bother us, but it just is what it is. You think about it, it's a bunch of old people, they're like 1 billion years old, and they're looking at Sugar, rooting for you. And they're saying, well, she's not getting it. And then they hold a council with one another because they have one shared thought. And they say, okay, what are we going to do to Sugar to make her get it? All right, well, take this from her so she can open her eyes or hurt her feelings, or give her this, give her $1 million, or give her this drug so she can then be qualified 27 years from now to inspire people. Karma is the kindest thing happening to us. It's not a punishment. It is a tool of ascension. Don't ever forget it. Don't ever forget it. Karma is not something bad. Anyway, that's what I said. And then the next lessons I gave you was 3 more, or 1, 2, 4 more. Right here, they're outnumbered, they're a number wrong because whatever. Number 5 here that I have, and it's actually 4 in real life. You don't have to go back and undo anything. You can't. You don't go back and undo anything, right? This is you trying to redo something. You can't redo something, but every time you go back and try to do something, Monica, what happens is you become the thing that you're trying to undo. It's in your present now. Number 6, well, which is 5 in real life, when you decide that you don't like who you are or what you did, it becomes the most devastating thing you could possibly do to your desires and your dreams. You can't be in God's image, of God, as God, and not like God. And you can't not like your creations when you're the only creator in your life. And lastly, regret is full separation from your inner being. Full. And I think this is that class I told you. If you like sin, regret is sin. So all that was apparently January 20th. That's when we talked about it. I'm going to do a subtle transition to what I want to speak about today. I think we missed it, right? It's recorded. But how do we get to the point, Arshia, to where we genuinely, not that pseudo stuff, like some of y'all ask you a question, you automatically say something positive. Arshia real good for it. All right, she's really practice that joint, you know what I'm saying? She means it, but she's real good for it. Speaking of so, I got you. But I want you to think about it for a moment. How do we get to the point where really we're just God in every situation? Whatever that means to you, right? So you see someone that don't deserve money at all, ask you for money. Are you teaching them a lesson? Are you God in that situation and giving them grace? I don't know. It's up to you. But I don't know. I don't know how religious y'all are. I'm not necessarily religious, but I don't know if I want a God that's going to keep teaching me lessons. That kind of angers me a little bit. I just, I don't know. I need a loving God. Listen, God is love, not God is teach lesson. I don't want that. I don't want that. It's not something that jives right with me. I don't want that. I don't want to be taught a lesson every time I come to you, because I don't want to come to you no more. Why you can't just listen? If every time Damali went to Sam and Sam hit her with a lecture, Damali gonna stop coming to Sam. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. So just think about that. Let's think about that for a moment. So I would transition to where I want to go is we are having a problem with receiving mode, which brought me back Monday to thinking about, well, why couldn't I receive Tempest? It's because I had a problem with my past. So a problem with your past doesn't just mean what you did. Some of you need to forgive these thoughts you have about things too. And the problem I was having with my past, with Tempest trying to tell me what she heard in her soul, it don't work like that. Who know what I'm talking about? Who? I'm saying, Frida, you're gonna be a computer programmer and it's gonna be good. I promise you. One day we gonna. It don't work like that. Oh, I did, but it ain't gonna work like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna work like that. My problem with what Tempest said, I received it. How many of you know you can receive something, be fertile soil, and it still never harvests? And I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of that. My problem was with my past. And what I wanted to do was I didn't want to let anybody down. And I didn't want to have any unfulfilled promises, right? I didn't want to, this is what I'm going through, right? Well, back in January, it's not really where I'm at right now. And, all this stuff, this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, come on. It's tangible time now, God. Let's roll. And all of that was an unforgiveness of my perception of the illusion that I live. I got you. I use Robin Williams' words that Phil always says about reality. What a funny illusion, right? A funny concept. It's my problem was I had unforgiveness with my perception of reality. Reality said, if God is going to hear me, God need to do something. But God already did something. Why I needed to look this way. Go ahead, Phil, please. This is a good spot.
Neil Donald Walsh again.
Come on.
In the spiritual sense, there are no victims and no villains in the world. Although in the human sense, it appears there surely are. Yet, because you are divine, everything that happens ultimately benefits you.
Wow. Wow. That sounds like, which one of y'all super duper uber Bible? Hey, this is the VA. I need you to, they probably trying to confirm something and tell them I'm alive and I'm coming. Okay. That sound, which one of y'all grew up with the Bible? One of y'all? Who was that? I know Chip has been Baptist her whole life. You, Damali?
I've been
Okay.
everything my whole life.
Everything, all of them. All right, then. Romans 8:28, and we know that all things are working together for your good, is what Phil also said the same thing. Point is, prosperity has one voice. If it's going to sound differently in the Quran, sound differently in the Bible, sound differently coming from Neil Donald Walsh, but it's the same words. They're just twisted for that community. And I mean twisted in a positive way, right? They're formed for the hearers of that community, but you don't change truth. You understand? You don't change truth. So here's the main point of today, and then everything else builds from this main point. And I will paste it as well, and you're more than welcome to copy and paste it. If it has typos, that's what I do. It's all good. So it's okay. I don't even proofread unless it's coming out the book. Thank you. Whatever it is, tell me later. You will, Frida, you read it for me, please. This is the main point. This is the main point of today. You didn't miss anything down. Remember to unmute your mic.
All right. You will never get to anything you want or where you want to be by regretting any of your experiences. Regret does not line up with who you are on any source level.
That is what I've learned since winter solstice. And that's
so.
Yes, sir, please.
So quit shitting on yourself.
Yes, sir. Immediately. This is what I've learned, because I've done everything, and I've got everything in place, and I've done everything. And there's, whether something happens this or that, or broke down this or whatever, everything's everybody's fault anyway, right? It's always your fault. So your reality, sugar, is always your fault, and my reality is always my fault. So that's understood. So let's just leave that alone, and let's just talk as regular human beings just for a moment. And what happens when you've done all you're supposed to do, but you still have to go to the cross? What happens then, right? Like that's a different. Can you handle that? Okay. Which, anybody here, you can't handle that. So let's move that to the side, because I want to go a little layer deeper. What happens now when you get off the cross after you survived it and they still don't believe? Anybody here? You got that handled too. Let's just move that to the side. But that weight between ascension and ascension of one God and descension of the other. Now, let me clear this up. Don't mean to disrespect Jewish and Christian. I mean two gods. Just allow me to use this illustration though. One God went up, or one person of God. There you go. You're not gonna be mad at me if I say that. One person of God went up. The third person of God came down, but it took 50 days. And that's the one we not moving to the side, because that's the layer I want to talk about. Does Damali have it in her? Does Antonio have it in him during 50 days of silence, not to go back to our past and have a problem with any of our experiences. The main point of today, I know that's tough about it. It's tough. It's tough. The main point of today is you would never get anything you want regretting where you've been. And that's the truth. And I'm not talking to y'all. This is me writing down why I couldn't understand what Tempest told me. You understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out why, with all my awareness, I'm not like, why it took me 8 days. So you're really learning from me talking and teaching to me, and it just got wrote down. Probably why I couldn't find an end, because it was too painful to write in the first place, right? That's probably why I probably put the pen out and said, forget this thing. I come back to it later and start playing a video game or something. And I have no idea how it ends, because I was talking to me, and nobody likes introspection, right? This is a full introspective talk to myself that you're hearing. And the only lesson I learned this year, and I don't need to learn another lesson ever again, is there's no reason to look back at my past and regret anything that has happened. It is all good, all well, all perfect, and God already has it done. My job now is to be, borrowing from Abraham Hicks again, I can't help it, open and receiving mode. And if I'm in my past, how can I presently receive? I can end class right there. I really can. In my past, I can't receive what God is doing in my present. Do you hear me? Like, I can't, because my hands are over here. My vibration is in something keeping me away from my breakthrough. In my case, it took me 8 days. 8 days to hear words. That's dumb to me. I'm too strategic to think that makes sense. I should have received it then. And here's the deal. I didn't resist it. It wasn't resistance. It wasn't she's wrong. I knew she was right. But my energy was in my past expectations. And you only got enough energy to receive your breakthrough or focus on your breakdown. That's it. You ain't got nothing else. Go ahead, Frida. This is a great time.
I often have to remind myself that I'm kind of like running a race in life. And if you're running a race, and if you look back, you're going to fall. You're definitely not going to win. 100%. So I often remind myself to look forward, to stay focused on what's in front of me and not what's behind me, because every time I look behind me, I seem to fall back a little bit.
No, that's I'm glad you said that, because you made me bring up somebody. Let's see. It's gonna take too long, but that's okay. Denzel Washington he did a commencement speech for the University of Pennsylvania, I believe, it was University of Pennsylvania. He did a commencement speech, the graduation, and he said, "I hope you put your shoes so far under the bed, and when you're down there, you might as well get on your knees, right? And then pray." So you get them up in the morning. And then he said, because you will fail. And he talks about how he sucked in college. He was a terrible student. And he took this acting class because he was flunking college anyway. Might as well go in here and waste some time, only to find out, oh, I kind of like this thing, right? And he's walking you through this like 22 minutes long, but I got a little 5-minute clips of it. In fact, I'll send you. I found the speech, but I will. Here's the short version. I'm not going to play it because it's 5 minutes and 22 minutes. And I got an agenda that I'm rolling with. That's the short version. And here's the yeah, you got the long version? Okay, Deanna just posted the long version, the actual commencement speech. Now he's telling you how he failed his way to being one of the greatest actors alive. And he says, I failed forward. And he tells the students, I wish that for all of you. You will fail, but I hope you fail forward. So Denzel Washington is in full agreement with you. Or she in full agree with you, Frida. Full agreement. I'm glad you said that. Very glad you said that. I only have 5 points for the day. The rest of this has been talking about receiving mode because it had to come back up. I gave you the main point already, which is you're never going to. It wasn't until Monica said, you know what? I'm going to change my past vibrations out this phone and out my heart until everything opened up. Now, I'm not telling y'all you're malicious. I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm not saying you blaming people. I don't think anybody here is doing that. It may look like it. You may be mad at your mom or whatever, but I don't think you crazy fools here, the ones that believe we're one, right? Like y'all the stupid ones. You're the minority. You believe that we're all one. You crazy folk that's actually looking at your enemy in grace. You're not being malicious. But like me, ooh, that past is an enemy of yours, ain't it? Here's it. I'm not talking about because I'm not. It's like sugar. Let go of my past. But this is what we do. It's real sneaky though, because that's my past is cool, but I'm not talking about that common vernacular way we talk about it. When Tempest told me, you're hearing prayers. And you have to learn how to deal with that. My past told me a lot of stuff that was opposite of what she said. If you get it, not, ooh, I hate what I used to do. No, that's what I'm talking about. I'm saying there was a little past policeman in my head, right in my auto suggestion, Phil. Tipper says, get that out of here. We don't, no. We're not receiving that. Nope. Get it out of here. This is a filter. Just nope. We don't want that. It was instant too. Go ahead, Phil.
Well, your past resides in your memory. Your future resides in your imagination. All we have is the present. Life is just a series of presents, one present after another. And how you choose to interpret the past is similar to how witnesses see an automobile accident. You can have an automobile accident and ask the witnesses that saw it, and everybody's got a different version of what they saw. So you can choose how you view your past. And your ability to choose how you view your past in a way that serves you, or if you view your past in the way in which it doesn't serve you, that's your choice.
Yeah, 100%. Very well said. You remind me of a movie, Vantage Point. There's a movie that they put out called Vantage Point. It had like 8 different vantage points of a crime, and everybody had a different story. It's a good movie. It had Forrest Whitaker in it. It's a good movie. It was something like early 2000s. I was in the Army when it came out. I remember. No, it feels right. And I never thought about your futures and your imagination. I never put that together till you just said it. You know, it makes sense. Past is in your memory. That makes sense. Futures in your imagination. I never really made that leap. So if none of these things really exist, all you got is now. It's 100% correct. It could be more correct. The main point here, like when you walk away from this class, I want you to repeat to yourself, like you're gonna say, "Ooh, what did I learn?" When all y'all mamas say, "What you learned in Sunday school today?" And y'all know how you used to be, right? When that happened to you, when you leave here, You're going to say, I don't benefit from looking at my past. I will never become what I want to be mad at my past. Now let's break this past down, because this is where the heart of it at. For you to simplify what I'm talking about, we have to add another word. We have to take it from a word and make it a phrase, and then it makes all sense in the world. It's not, I talk about Arshia all the time. She's super positive, y'all. I say, Arshia, you ever been mad at God? No, never. Lies. Yes, you have. You just programmed to say that. And she'd be like, you're right. Okay, then. Right. But that's a good thing. It's far better for her to, because it's so natural. When you do it that fast, it's natural. So she's taught herself, get rid of this negativity. That's why she has a good attraction, good law of attraction and stuff. I'm talking about past experiences. So now this makes more sense. When I tell you you have a problem with your past, y'all forgiven the big things that happened to you. But those experiences tucked in your head, like, I don't like when my lights get cut off. That's a beautiful experience that you were supposed to have. See, this is where it gets tough. I know it. This is where if there was a million people cheering for me right now, they all turned and tried to kick me off the cliff. You're saying, I just lost the crowd. There's two people that said, no, listen to him, give him a chance. And that's it. Because when I start telling people, Phil even told that, when he coaches and say, you know what, everything's your fault, or what do you say? No, everybody hates this. Your past experiences were these beautiful things that prove you're God and got you here and going to get you over there. And we really come here to enjoy all experiences. We really did. And then have no regrets. And I know that's tough. But this ain't the first time I said it. Yeah, if you go back on YouTube again, one of those things said, never suffer ever again. Something like that. One of them. I said this in this call. It was either the first of the year or the last week of the year. But I told you I had 2 weeks. Now I was going to get y'all. One of them has got a little red cover. Tell me the date, then you can post it out there. This is what we're supposed to. Well, let me hold on. I'm gonna stop because I want her to hear too. You might as well keep up YouTube, but I might keep having you going back and getting dates real quick. Well, you got to be careful because it's like when you preaching from or speaking from a sacred text, doesn't matter text. You always want people to know I'm in the text. I'm not. It's never suffer again. Something like that. It's on the homepage. It's on the yeah. I just want you to know I'm coming from the text, Sugar. There's no agenda here. There is, what date?
December 31st.
December 31st. December 31st. I said, you came, if you really want to know something again, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to receive everything that happened. Relax. And in between that video and receiving master forgiveness or receiving mode, I said these 6 things twice. I said it December 31st and I said it January 20th. I just said it in a different way. And here are the 6 things. Experience everything you desire. Analyze all those desires. Understand why you did them. Accept why you did them. And along your path, teach others. And if you don't like what you did, forgive yourself for that. I said it December 31st, and I turned around and said it again January 20th, just in a different way. Actually, December 31st was in a different way. It was in a poetical way. January 20th, I laid it out for you, literally. Why? Did I know that? I didn't. And here's the deal. Here's the crazy thing, Sugar. I didn't know any of this before winter solstice. This is all new downloads. This is not something I understood. This is not something I understood, not something I could have gave you. It all flowed from after I left what I was doing. So here we have it. This is what we have, Phil. This is what's baffling my mind. This is me personally. I'm not even, for this next 3 minutes, I'm not even trying to teach you. I'm confessing to Phil what is blowing my mind right now. And I ain't talking about it in a good way. Yes. Oh, great Father Phil. What's blowing my mind is there is physical, tangible evidence that I have changed in my mind and my power and everything around me. And then there's a delay or something. But I know it, I see it, I feel it, I can see it happening. I know I can put a date on when it happens. And I don't know. Right now, I'm at the place where, okay, I got peace with it. No matter what happens, I'm okay with it. I'm not going to panic. I'm going to analyze why I feel this way, all that stuff. But how do I consciously always say, I'm not allowed to have those situations. So what we're going to do, we're going to learn how to be full me, whatever that is, in this situation too. That's what's blowing my mind right now. Now, I'm happy I come to that quickly, but it sure take a lot of energy, sugar. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. It take a lot of energy. I'm grateful, Sam, that I nothing in me wants to say something of the opposite, something of the negative, or it's not even something that's positive but mediocre. No. I am fully on board with change has come. Even more so on board that everybody around me knows it too, even if I don't think they know it or they don't think they know it. We all know it because there's only one of us in the room. So I know it. But I'm put this into Christian talk so we can all understand it. But the devil wants me to get distracted at me remembering what it feels like not to fulfill this or that or a promise or this, right? And as long as, pay very close attention, as long as I remember or even desire to feel, as long as I desire to say, man, but I got to get this done, it ain't gonna get done. It's why when Phil on Monday, just random words made me almost run through my little washroom about, I don't even know what you said. I just remember the one part that I needed. Or you're trying too hard. Oh, shit, Phil, right? This what I said in my head. Okay, I jumped on this call, but it was much needed because it made me put 2 and 2. Remember I told you I started writing Monday. I started writing after you said that. He put together for me what I was missing. I needed to hear that so I can understand what took 8 days to understand Tempest 20-something days ago. This is what I was missing. Like what he said after that was, because the subconscious mind already conspired to get that done. What I was missing, sugar, was I wouldn't let my subconscious draw that forward because my past experiences of letting people down were blocking my attraction of not letting them down. And I think every provider on the planet understood what I just said. You know what I'm saying? Like that provider role is tough. It's tough. It has this, how do you tell your daughter we can't get the cheerleading uniform, right? Or you say, honey, I want to take you out for Valentine's Day, but how do you, because especially, well, I don't want to say especially men, but I'm a man, so I'm going to say especially men, but forgive me. I can only think as a man. No, ignorantly, because I know I'm wrong, because I'm thinking as a man, because I'm automatically wrong right there. But ignorantly, as a man, we feel bad when it's in our charge to secure something and it doesn't get secured. And my past experiences of letting people down was blocking me from hearing Tempest, but watch this. Phil knows it, Susan knows it, Frida knows it. How you do anything is how you do everything. So if it's blocking me from hearing Tempest, then it's blocking me from manifesting. Nobody's exempt. How you do anything is how you do everything. If I'm blocking the voice of Tempest in a private conversation, then I'm blocking the voice of God in my life. The same way I showed up to Tempest is the same way I show up when it's time for me to get promises from me, from the universe. Universe says, I got him. Nah, no. I don't want that. You understand? I didn't want them that way. All right, well, we'll take these back. The way you want to take a lot longer. 3 lifetimes. You don't want it this lifetime? Think about that, y'all. This is something I pinned Monday for myself, and I said I'm going to share it with them. It'll teach, hopefully, through the lens of me, I'm exposing you. Because I expose myself, you might as well suffer along with me. Do you understand? The main lesson, genuinely, is you will never get anything you want or where you want to be, regretting any of your experiences. And every time I regretted the experience of letting people down that believed in me, I couldn't get what I wanted for them. But I'm here to tell you, that's over. I ain't did that since that conversation with Tempest. I'm just telling you, right? I had to process it. But that's what it is. No, thank you. Thank you so much. That is a clapping reason. This is why but that was in a blind spot, though. You get it? That's not something, that wasn't something conscious. And it wasn't even, this is the deal. I was getting, I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to put it in a soft way, so I got to give it to you the hard way. I wasn't being malicious. But just because you're not being malicious, don't mean you will reap harvests that don't serve you. Good intentions ain't got nothing to do with harvest. It's the seeds. The seed was regret experience. It didn't matter what my intentions were. Didn't matter what my didn't matter if I did it with a smile. The universe said, I see energy, but them seeds, I'm gonna need those. Put those down. This is what's coming back. Oh, no, but you don't know. So many people depend on me. Mm-hmm. Why you ain't plant that then? So go ahead and give me the ones you got. Regret and experience. I put them in the ground. Don't worry about it. I put them in the ground for you. And as charismatic and cartoonishly illustrated that is, still facts. Still facts. You got your main point. I'm gonna somebody. Go ahead, Susan.
I mean, what you said, how you do anything is how you do everything. That is just very powerful. I can sit and look at that and just like, we may not realize we're doing it that way.
Yeah, Lord.
But we may be doing it that way. And then if you're someone that likes to do everything really right all the time, then you're trying to do that with everything.
Yep.
And that gets a little messy too. So that fits for everybody. And I think everybody should just look at that. That should be pinned on everything in the house,
For real.
But and that's why sometimes you'll be disappointed in a situation because how people will do something because that's how they do, and you anticipate that. And then if it's not like that, you're surprised, but it's not the same for every situation. You may do really good in one situation, then the next situation you don't, but because you didn't on this one, it means everything is not. It's how you do everything, even though you may choose to do one thing better here and something over here not as good.
Right, absolutely.
But because you did not good over here, that good you did over here, it's cancel that.
It cancels it out. That's y'all just got another class in the class. That was masterful. It really was. No, that really was. Did you get that, Deanna? That was thank you, Susan. That was really good because man, and our blind spots again, right? It's just one of those things that I'm not being malicious when I'm sure getting the malicious harvest back. What's going on, right? And of course, there's no bad, there's no good, there's no malicious, but I'm using these words so we can understand what serves us and what doesn't serve us. You get it? Let me just read this message real quick. Okay, good.
That's also where forgiveness comes in. And it could be, another person, they did good here, but they didn't do good here. And when they didn't do good, you got to look back and think of what they did do good with. And then it's the same for yourself. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. I find out, and I'm going to talk this out as I'm talking, just responding, because I don't have the words, but I know what I feel. I try to stay in an active forgiveness, which is easy for me now. But I think I've identified what I actually have to forgive. And it's never the person. It's not the person that this may be different for everybody else, but I'm just again, sugar this is a class, exposing Antonio Smith. You understand what I'm saying? And hopefully you get to see some of you. It is not what Damali did to me. Yeah, don't bother me. It used to. There was a time. It's not that Frida said something behind my back. Nope. It's always the same thing over and over, Phil. What I think, how I think you view me, I gotta forgive that every time. That's what hurts me. That's what bothers me. It's not the action. I have silently and it's instant too, instantly and silently said, oh my God, your view of me has changed. And that is what hurts. That's what bruises my ego. That is what makes me clamor up or fight or flight or be aggressive. Has nothing to do with what you did. I think you view me away. Doesn't matter what that view is. And if you change that view, which who knows if you change? Phil just told you. If you did change, it's in my imagination, so it can't be real. And since we ain't talking about something in the past, it ain't in no memory. So it's all in my perception. But so it's really me forgiving my perception of how you changed your view of my perception of how you changed your perception of me. That's what I got to forgive. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm telling you, that gets me every time. And when I realized that, that's when I started attacking that in my own mental, almost as I walk. Like with every breath, I'm releasing sugar of the responsibility to view me like I want her to. Oof, that there. I made her responsible for my preference and my comfort level of how I want her to view me. And as soon as she makes me uncomfortable, Susan, and view me a different way, I'm now mad at her for not doing what I told her to do about viewing me. It really comes back to me and my selfishness and my righteousness and my fragile ego that I want to be viewed perfectly all the time. But perfect needs to be defined how I want it to be, Susan. And if I change my view of perfection with shit, you need to change with me. Right? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's the deal. And when you realize that, well, excuse me, when I realized that, it got a lot easier to forgive. Because I realized it wasn't you. It's not what you did. It was the fact that I'm a coward. And if you change your view of me, it makes me uncomfortable. It's true. So I got to go in me and address that in me. So I pose a question to y'all. Are you strong enough? Don't answer out loud. Unless you want to. You're crazy if you want to. But no, answer out loud. Are you strong enough for somebody to change their view and perception and opinion of you without your feelings getting hurt internally?
No, I'm not. I am absolutely not. And I'm working on it. And I'm telling you right now, that's a big hell no, because I am a Leo and I am perfect. And if you don't see me as that, then something is going on. And we need to fix it immediately so I can get back into perfection.
You reminded me when you tell that story about your neighbor. Like, wait a minute, you don't like me? Hold on. Everything stopped until you like me. I get it. Anyway, I said that because what Susan just said, I forget what she said that made me say that, but she made me think of that. And that's when I know how you do anything, how you do everything, Susan. So that means if I have a problem with what Susan viewed me now, that means I got a problem with how my kids view me in a situation. How you do anything is how you do everything. So the same way I treat Susan privately, the same way I'm gonna treat one of my kids privately. Same way I'm gonna treat, it doesn't matter. Like whatever it is, the moment I know folk who left the church because somebody convinced them God changed their view. It's true. This is true. I mean, like, think about it. If God is all loving but hates gays, that'll mess your head up. It truly will. It will mess your head up. Or I think sometimes Monica will be able to help me out with this. Something in Catholicism. There was Catholicism, God, and adoption. I can't remember what it was, but something in the Catholic Church about God and adoption. Maybe Monica will remember. But I remember it messed my head up. Because I'm adopted, right? Anyway, doesn't matter. Here are these 4 things. I'll give them to you up front. That's all I got for this lesson. Everything else was a review that tied into it. Tip is, if you don't mind. They probably got typos. Don't worry about them. They sexy though. Them typos work out.
You cannot go back and change anything. It is not possible. When you go back, you are reliving the experience and create that in your present. You are taking on the negative energy of that situation and those negative people's opinion of you. Life is about being open to all the things coming to you. What about being negative keeps you in the receiving mode?
I'm explaining these things and we out of here. I want to start at that third one though. I'm gonna go out of order. When Antonio, just use my name, and then I use Phil and Susan because it's impossible for this to be true. But I can't put anything on anybody. I'm using, right, I don't want to speak things into existence. Phil and Susan. No, listen to me. Antonio talks bad about Phil and Susan. No, Phil and Susan talks bad about Antonio. Doesn't matter. Just either way. It doesn't matter how you want to look at it. And then sometime in the future, let's say 3 months from now, they still can't get over it, or I still can't get over it. Everybody got me? Every time Phil walk back and think about what he can't get over, he then takes on my negative thoughts about him and become those things and pull them back to the present. That's why number 4 exists. And what about being negative? Lets you be in a receiving mode in your present. And that's the truth. Every time, I wanted to use them because that's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. But every time you look back and say, I just don't like that I'm always broke. Okay. You're going all the way back, Frida, and you're not just taking on the negative energy of that emotion, but there is a thought process of being broke that billions of people have. And your thought, Arshia says, they're looking at you because nobody cares about being broke if nobody was looking. If nobody was looking and nobody was judging and nobody was keeping account of what broke is, wouldn't even be no broke. Only reason it's broke is because somebody is not broke, making a standard of this is broke, ha ha. That's it. That's it. If nobody was keeping a record, you wouldn't even know you was broke. I say this all the time. Sometimes I get in trouble with it, depending on the crowd, but I still say it. 2008, you black folk ain't even know no recession. Y'all been losing jobs. You been losing houses. It would no recession to them folk and Katie start losing their jobs and so they start losing their houses. You literally would have stayed happy. I watched black folk who ain't never heard the word recession ever panic because you watched the news and all of a sudden you took that on. You've been out of a job. This is normal for you and you've been happy. You made Christmas happen every year broke. Come on, don't lie to me now. It's the truth. I get in trouble when I say it because it's depending on what circle I'm in, but it's the truth. My point with that is, oh, it's a recession. We must be doing bad. What's bad? Whatever they say bad is. Who looking at us? Everybody. And when you go back in the past, you put on all the opinions, and you cannot walk to your breakthrough holding everybody's opinion. When you look back, genuinely, you take on a negative energy, and anybody that has a negative opinion about that, you take on their view. So number 4 exists. Life is about staying open to everything coming to you. How can you be open when you got the observation of everybody judging you? I don't know a single person that can be fully in tune with their being judged and win. I was listening to Phil and Sister Booker yesterday morning or last night, one of these calls, and they was talking about the Olympics and the skater who skated. And then she missed it at the very end. I didn't say nothing because I didn't watch it. And I love the Olympics, but apparently I'm a loser today. I didn't watch it. And Sister Booker said that, and Phil said, oh yeah, her dad. And I remember saying in my head, that's deep. at the very end, the finish line got smaller than what she was thinking about. Now, at no point am I telling you this lady wrong, but the finish line, the winners ignore everything but the finish line. If you're going to, nobody likes when I talk like this because it seems like I'm talking about this lady. I'm not. I'm not even talking about winning. I'm talking about the absence of other people's eyes on you when your eyes is on your prize. You cannot, under any circumstances, go get what you want and be conscious of people who know that you shouldn't deserve it. You can know they exist, but you can't think about them. Short story. My first sermon, 2008, December 6th, 2008, was my first sermon. The church was packed. 500 people, which is huge in Galveston, Texas. It was upstairs, downstairs, packed because they and I don't know why it was packed. I guess this little thug boy coming in these streets, in these jeans, them starch jeans and Gucci glasses, and all of a sudden, that rapper, what he doing up there? You know, that's what I'm saying. And my first sermon was an hour and a half. No, hour and 15 minutes. Because the first 45 minutes, I got up there with their thoughts of me. I was nervous. I was everything. And I don't even get nervous. I couldn't move. I couldn't think. And somewhere in there, Antonio finally showed up. And all that attitude came back to the pool pitch. You hear me, Susan? All of it. Exactly what you see now. It finally showed up. And I said, you know what? Forget all this. And then 15 minutes later, I was done. And I ain't never went past 25 minutes. Ever again. I walked up and established the tone of my speech with the doubts of their minds. So I was a loser, Damali, for 45 minutes. If you walked, I actually did pretty good that last 15 minutes. If you left, you was like, ooh, that boy ain't gonna never make it. Because my eyes were focused on their opinions of me, so I couldn't deliver. I'm not telling you I shouldn't be conscious that there's a crowd. But when you're in the zone, that noise stops in between them whistles. You don't hear nothing but what you're doing. And that finish line get real big. So as we close, there is a finish line. I ain't talking about of your life. I'm talking about whatever it is you desire. I promise you there's a finish line, or you just stop believing in God then. Like if you think that it ain't already done, then you need the whole new belief system. If you thought about it, this is why I need to be in Let's Study a Book on Tuesdays. If you thought about it, your subconscious mind has already made it happen. There is a finish line, sugar. There's a finish line, Damali. And what you got to do is don't look at your past experiences, because that finish line get real small, and regrettably, you'll be, then your dad will die, and your mama die. You'll start thinking about that, and you won't finish. And 15 years has been wasted because you took your eyes off the prize. If you focus on your past experiences and regret them and get ill over them and have ill feelings over them, you will not get your breakthrough. It will not come. There is a finish line. And then here's the wonderful thing about being humans. We never like one finish line. As soon as we finish, we get bored and start a new one. I don't know what you want, but I know it has a finish line. And some of you can't see it because it's so small and it's so far away. Some of you, like me, and it should be the people around me, you can see it now. That kind of pisses you off, doesn't it? Because when I was running the 2-mile run in the Army, I hate it to this day. They run us like this, and this is 1 mile. This is I'm angry thinking about it right now. I'm sinning right now. This is nothing about this anger is righteous. You hear me? I'm mad right now. Because here's what happened. You turn around. And I swear to God, when you turn around and see how far the finish line is and you already ready to quit, it's depleting. I wish they would just run us in a continuous circle instead of forward and back, or just let me just measure it out 2 miles. Don't go 1 mile back, 1 out. Because soon as I ain't saying this for everybody else, I'm talking about me. The whole message has been about me. Soon as I turn around and I'm halfway done, it's not being far away from the finish line that makes me quit. It's seeing the finish line while being tired, while being far away, and it ain't getting here no closer. And the only way I can get there is give everything I got. I'm tired of giving everything I got. Don't nobody else give everything they got, but I wish I had somebody. It's always me that's got to give everything I got.
Amen.
Somebody else need to do this from now on. And that's what makes me want to quit every time I run. I say this all the time, Susan. It's always me. Come on now. I know I can't be the only one. I can't be it's always me. When am I gonna get mine, Lord? Come on now. I'm always doing this for free. I'm always this. That's regretting your past experiences. And for Antonio, Monday, Phil, with this little stupid book, made me realize, yep, I hear you, God, right? That's why I'll never talk. I mean, real quick, man, say that again, Phil. They missed you. I didn't miss you. Say it again, Phil. It's the truth. Because I knew that was for me. And when the call hung up, I was pissed. I was like, I need more of that. So I started writing. I took the energy of the call and started writing this call because I needed more of that. Because I knew there was a moment, like Neil Donald Washington, I was writing through my pen. And I knew I had to capture it. And my capturing is this. If you look at your past and you regret it, you will not get your future. We finally figured out how to end it, Susan. I got the ending.
My Lord, that was a word.
The main point actually happened to be the ending. So there you go. Go ahead, Phil.
I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention.
That's so.
Well, Neil Donald Walsh says, there is no such thing as space and time. There is only here and now. Love is all there is. You are the creator of your own reality by using 3 tools of creation: thought, words, and actions. Your life has nothing to do with you. It is about everyone whose life you touch and how you touch it. Your purpose of life is to recreate yourself anew in the next grandest version of the greatest vision ever you have held about who you are. And then I've shared this before in the past. Know God and be your best. Trust God and do good. That's Joyce Myers. And love God and have peace.
Amen to that. Amen to that. I love that. Well, that's it for us. What we're going to do, well, tomorrow I have a, Deanna. Yeah, go ahead. I forgot what I got. You got to say on mic.
You have a doctor's appointment at 8 a.m. For your x-rays. You're in because the doctor that does your injections won't be there tomorrow. They're just going to take you next week.
Oh, that they just called and said?
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
but you're still getting your x-rays tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
Oh, okay. So you can meet your my. Okay, let me get to the point first, and then I'll tell you what's going on. Tomorrow, Deanna and Tempest. What I want you to do is I want you to do this. Only thing I want you to do is I want you to focus on what we did was we built. I put it in order Monday. I said we're going to do Mexiverse and Bureau Influencer Speakers, and I said such happy and secure, whatever, right? And I put ATS TV last. But ATS TV is 100% my money. That's why it's last. If you know me, that's exactly how I think. That's exactly how I think. Okay. Mexiverse is not. ATS TV is. Happy and Secure is not. Anywho, we built one irresistible offer for the Mexiverse. You understand? Mm-hmm. It's too good to pass up. I taught you how to do it now. Tomorrow, you're going to take everybody. That's why I need you here, Deanna. You're going to take everybody, and you're going to do the very same thing for the Bureau of Influential Speakers. This is important. Listen to me very, very well. The same thing we did, the same pictures. If this one has 26, then that needs 26. What do you get? And it needs to be so irresistible that you have to join. It's impossible not to join. You hear me? Mm-hmm. Everybody got me? Where's Grace? I'm giving instructions right now. You're going to put 30%, whatever the price is that you come up with for the irresistible offer. I need you to add 30% on top of it. Because I want to. No, go ahead, Grace.
Oh, I was going to say, could you repeat that? And
that's okay. They got it. They'll give it to you.
Okay.
I want you to put 30% on top of it. So when Grace and Frida or Jerry, right, sell it, whether it be funnel or something, it doesn't cut into the thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Everybody got me? Now, I already said this privately in January or December or something, okay? But I'm going to do it now anyway. Everything I'm strategic. Tempest, you're going to start a new domain, and Phil and Susan's Stripe will be connected to that for a certain amount that I said, period. I don't know if you remember that. Then we'll switch. And then did you set up Vastines? Then Vastines is going to be next, certain amount. I already said it off camera. And then 95% chance it's Damali, then Frida. Then at that moment, company goes to Phil and Susan. Now, I've already said that has nothing to do with today. I already said this, I already put it in motion. Everybody knows this, okay? I already put it in motion. But what you were going to do, and the human consultants understand this and they connote you. We're going to do shit that don't work. You're just going to get on the phone and do what we've been doing. No, I don't want to do that no more. Okay. It don't work. So what I want you to do is I want you to do this, have an irresistible offer. You understand? And that irresistible offer is so tough that you can't resist it. Now, tomorrow you're gonna argue back and forth with, well, where should we put the $24.99 and how much should the offer be? I'll let y'all argue. I won't give you a hint. I got my own ideas, but I won't say that. I'm gonna let you struggle with that. Okay, go ahead, Grace.
Yes, sir. Just okay. I gave Miss Frida the information for a lady that I scheduled an appointment with yesterday for today. Does she talk to her and tell her it's $24.99, or do we reschedule the appointment? What did you want us to do?
No. If have integrity, do it right now, and then if she don't get it, then what you do is when the irresistible offer come out, you just offer that too. Right, we fine. Yeah, we don't need to be. I don't want that karma. Good question, but I don't want that karma.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, we not losing blessings and favor over one person over $24. If I'm going down, Damali, it's 24 billion. You understand? And 6 o'clock news, Antonio Smith steals $24 billion from an old lady. Yep, I did. It was 24 billion. I couldn't help it. $24? No, we ain't doing that. We ain't 24 trillion. All right, I get that. I start my own government somewhere. So that's that. I don't want to cancel tomorrow because that's the only meeting for tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I need you to do. But I need you to do it the way I've taught you all week. Ask yourself, where's the bureau? Take those same 4 answers. Grace got them in the notes. Where's the Bureau of Speakers going? Let Susan tell you where it's going. Because it's going to be theirs. Don't let you give them ideas, but it's theirs, so you got to let them tell it. You know what I'm saying? And once you know where it's going, then that irresistible offer almost comes too easy to build. You start getting ideas. And then you use all our old stuff, all their stuff. That's one. And you have 3 things, and you need to get to like 26 or something. Have it so tough. And the price is probably going to be something like, well, see, I don't want to do that. I almost messed up, Damali. I want you to struggle. I want y'all to struggle because you're going to come up with something great. And I don't want to tell you what to do. You know what I'm saying? You want to come up with something great. If I say something, then I'm going to form how you come up with something. I don't want to do that. I want the real stuff. And then what should happen, if I'm right, which I normally am, Monday, both go on sale to 2 different audiences. Well, this one already went on sale today. So Monday, that one goes on sale. And if you don't have it Monday, then it's Tuesday. Get it? Just however long it takes us to build it. But once it's built, it automatically starts making money. Now, here's the difference between that one. That one is unaccounted for. It has not tied into bills. There's already, we're doing 20 sales on this side. We already got 1 sale. And with more coming. You get it? 1 is already, and ain't nobody did nothing. We just joined class. So you got 1, 19 left. So what happened, if I'm right now, this is, hear me well. Let's just say it's 547. Let's just say it's 547. Say it's 547. I'm gonna share my calculator on the screen. This is important. Wouldn't necessarily do it on this call, but I ain't got much of a choice because time is of, I ain't gonna be here tomorrow. Let's say it's 547. And let's say I said off camera that the first 100 sales go to the people I'm talking about. That's $54,000, yes? All right. Now, from that, you take away, well.
Antonio, how did you get to that? You're talking about the first 100 of Phil and Susan, and then the next Bastine
Well, I haven't.
talking about?
Yes, I said that offline, something like that offline. I haven't actually said what I said here on here because I don't want people counting your money. So I haven't actually said it. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? But
Because
I
that's
just,
like, you get to 100, that's 30,000
probably so. I
at
probably
20,
did the math.
$25, $24.99.
Oh, no. See, I see what you're saying.
Confused. 'cause
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
That's like,
So right. No, I see what you're saying. The irresistible offer.
go buy the dog food.
The irresistible offer is probably going to be something like 547 or something, right? Something like that. Or maybe let's say
Part of that.
say it again.
Are we part of the irresistible offer?
It's hooked up to your, well, yes. It's hooked up to
That's
your
what-
stripe.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about
There
that.
you go. So we're talking about the 54,000 plus the 35% of the people who, so out of 135% of people are joining $24.99. You get it?
Say that again.
Out of 100, you expect 35% of the people to join the monthly program at $24.99.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So you wind up getting something like 54,000 plus whatever 35%, whatever 35 times $24.99 is. I don't know what that is. That's residual. Then it switches. And then you go and it switches, and you go and it switches. And then the irresistible offer is still irresistible, still working. And then it's there forever. In fairness, this is already built. I think I said all this in the first meeting of this year, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. If it wasn't the first one, it was the second one, right? If not the first one, it was the second one. But what I had to do is teach y'all what works, how it works. Plus, we had to go learn some other new stuff too, plus the coding behind it. Easy peasy. It works. It's working now. It's 100%. It's the whole point of irresistible offer, an offer you can't refuse. So that's what I want y'all to do tomorrow, and that's the instructions I would have guided y'all through it. But you have to do what I did, though. You can't BS it. You have to. By you, I mean y'all. Second person plural. Mm-hmm. You have to go through this. You understand? You have to go through this. You're gonna build this completely out. We'll deal with the monthly sub. Well, you got your monthly sub already, but it could be more. Value ladder, it could be more, it could be more. But one of these is going to become your irresistible offer. So we got that 26 from just one thing in here, and that's the MN. So we can do 26 of all these things. So basically, we could have 9 irresistible offers doing Mexit News. Get it? And that is my plan. That's my plan. That's my plan. I would have wished I had it 5 years ago, sure. 10 years ago, sure. But we didn't have the infrastructure to hold it. We didn't have the reason we can do it now is because we can scale. We can hold these people. We do have the member this. We have the ability to do it. But tomorrow I need y'all to do that because I'm not going to be at the morning meeting. And since that's the only thing we do on Fridays right now, by the time I get out of there, the workday is over. Right? You know what I'm saying? It was and that's just 9:30, right? 9 o'clock, 9:30. Actually, it won't take that long. By the time I get out of there, the workday is over, right? The meeting's over, workday is over. So you take as long as you have to build that. You get it? I'm not necessarily telling you. Actually, this is what I'm actually telling you. I'm actually telling you, if you can, be done with the irresistible offer tomorrow, because you don't have to break down step 1 and step 2 like I did to teach. You already know it now. Just get your piece of paper and you do this here. Let me put it right here. This is what it looks like for the one we did. You get your piece of paper. Sorry for the font being so small. You get your piece of paper, and that's what it looks like. Same thing, and that's what it looks like. Then you deliver. You get what I'm saying? And there's no problem. Now, where do we put all of this? Common sense. On what we built is obviously going, right, on something that we have the technology to build. Whole thing, we put it there. Get it? It's not necessary. It's go on ATS TV, but it won't only be on ATS TV. It has to be on a third platform that is then golden egg gifted to Phil and Susan. Why? Because it needs to end with that Stripe information, not the companies. Make sense? All right, so there's nothing else for me to repeat. Should be on sale Monday or Tuesday, and it's going to be too easy. And then what we have to do, the last thing we have to do is we just have to shoot a video. But I haven't taught y'all that yet. Well, actually, I did the Billy Mays phone. We just got to shoot the video. That's it. So, but we don't need the video for our community and post and our immediate community, extended community. But we need the video to put it in funnels and stuff, right? You need a video. But right now, you can use a graphic. Cool. All right. What's going on with me is my hips are also out of place. God bless us all. But it makes sense. I jumped from 5,000 feet in the air over and over and over and over. Now, anything that you think has cushion that broke that fall is gone. It makes sense, but you know, me being 40, but nobody's
too. He's airborne, so he jumped, and it was more his knees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, have you do that so much?
I know, right? Exactly. So they had that. Of course, they got me with severe arthritis or whatever, and I need hip surgery, but my doctor is an awesome doctor and said, "You're too young to have a fake hip, so we're gonna make all this work for you." And that's what's going on. Just so you know. Yes. She's awesome. She's awesome.
That's why have a doctor like that.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome. And that's why she wants me to get an x-ray tomorrow, because my hips are doing something weird. And she wants to see before she do some other stuff. So cool. All right, y'all. That's it. That's my instructions. I didn't necessarily mean to put out here, but I didn't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a choice, but that's your plan of action. So all of us can see your breakthrough. No offense, Frida, but you last. You'll be all right. Damali, you third. You'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? You'll be all right. You'll be all right. I need to take care of Phil, Susan, and Vashti. It just is what it is. I love what Susan said earlier. They've been here. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the first shall be last shall be first. They've been here. I got to take care of them first. Right? I got to take care of them first. But this is automatic. This takes no faith. This takes no faith. And at the end of this, all of us, for serving people with great value, you understand? Serving people with great value should be walking around with surpluses. Just know whatever you put on that 1 through 26, we have to fulfill. And I real slick side said this, and I know Susan heard me because she's real strategic. I told her at the beginning of the year, oh yeah, your calls, they kind of shifted. Because I knew there needed to be a special call for the Bureau that was additional, and a special call for what we just did today that was additional, because some of the stuff we're going to make up in our irresistible offers don't exist yet. And we got to kind of get on the line and make it exist. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be limited. It would do it for 6 months, whatever. But then once it's there and complete, it's automated. And of course, Phil's smart enough to know he's a banker. You can sit back and automate money all the time. You understand? So that's where we at.
Antonio.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's why I'm excited about our books and getting our sales up, because they're going to be Googling us and looking at us as well. So
you're the right vibration, because we got a surprise.
It's got to be the same level.
Right. So we have a surprise for y'all, but I'm not going to tell you though. But on that same vibration you just said, we got a surprise for y'all for that. But so I'll give you a hint. Don't build nothing. Don't do that, because what you just said is exactly what we got a surprise. So you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. And
Antonio.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
We are very well taken care of. The process that we're going through is going well with Sam's credit. And that, you remember how you said Sam's law of attraction was telling on him?
Yeah.
Well, that second accident that happened, they totaled his truck, and now that paid off truck, we're getting a 5-figure check for that paid off truck. So, and he's putting that towards his business. Everything is
good
going
stuff.
well, so.
Yeah. Tate's a genius. I told you, he's a genius. Ain't nobody better. Ain't nobody better for sure. So I'm glad. And see, that's something we've been. There's a lot going behind the scenes that I just don't say, but we're doing every single thing that we can to. I see you, Monica, doing every single thing that we can to do everything. And this year just happens to be the year when all the ducks are in a row to where it can happen. So, and of course, me, Tibbs, and Deanna been footing the bill all these years. So we gonna get ours. Don't worry about it. We gonna get ours. In the meantime, y'all pay for my credit card. It is in massive need of prayer. But we gonna take care of it. Cool. Make sure y'all do that tomorrow. It's important because God is good. And it's time for us to smell like and look like God is good. Amen to that. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can't play better. You can't dominate. All right, everybody. Y'all have a good one. Grace Freely, y'all gonna love you more. Love you. Love you all. Love you all. One of y'all said that.
Love you more.
Love you more. There it is. All right.